Appreciate you guys all hopping on this Zoom call. I really believe, it all starts with this group of people that are on this call, because when I've talked, just to put this in perspective of how valuable you guys are, when I've talked to prospects, when I've talked to recruits, when I've talked to these people, they all mention, well, are the games going to sell out? How many people show up to the stadium? That is a question that kids ask, right, in recruiting nowadays. What's the environment like on game day? Because what makes college football unique than as opposed to the NFL is the game day environment of people who come to games, the student section, the band, the season ticket holders that have the passion. All of that stuff is what makes college football game day atmosphere different. And when you're a student athlete, when you're a high school kid making a decision, that's something you want to have. You want to have that game day environment. That's elite. And I've seen that game day environment here before in the past when I was here. It was a distinct home field advantage for us. That was loud, that was energetic and fun. And that's why I'm on this call today. We have 8 recruits on campus right now. And to me, this is more important than being with them right now. This 30-minute window, it's more important to talk to this group of people because how valuable and how much value you truly add to this program. Just a few things that you guys know. For me, this program, you guys have probably heard it. If you haven't, this program is going to be about life. It's going to be about Sun Devils for life. We're going to be lifers. We're going to leave here lifers of the program. We're going to learn how to focus on little things. We're going to have an intensity about ourselves and everything we do. We're going to wake up bright-eyed, ready to get to work. We're going to be about family, right? We're going to be about education, right? And we're going to learn how to respond to adversity, the good and the bad. And we're going to teach our young men how to be successful on and off the field. And everybody on this call would define success a different way. For me, it's very, very simple. And what our standard here of what success is going to look like is just being the very best at whatever you're doing right now. That's simple, right? If whatever you're doing right now, are you successful at it? Okay, what am I doing then in this moment? Am I successful at it? And continuing to stack that success. And if you continue to stack that success, wins will come and the outsider's perspective of success will actually be there, right? But for us, the internal perspective is success is just being the very best at what we can be all the time. As you guys, most of y'all know, we've filled out most of our staff. We have all 10 guys hired. It's a staff that has a great balance of experience and youth. We've had guys, we have 4 national championships at the D1 AA level on our staff. National title winners, 4 of them on our staff. I couldn't even count how many high school Arizona State championships we have on our staff, right? Because I think it's like 13 or 12, some crazy number of high school head coaches who have won national championship on our staff. And then we have, in my opinion, the best defensive coordinator in our league last year, in Coach Ward. So we've got an unbelievable staff. We've got youth from the NFL. We've got youth from Arizona. We've got all the types of people that are necessary, in my opinion, to be diverse, to recruit all types of student athletes and build them into elite football players. What we're going to be on the offensive and defensive side of the ball from a philosophy standpoint, when you guys walk into that stadium, you can expect a defense that's going to be fun to cheer for. Like, we're going to attack. I use the word cause chaos. We're going to continually cause chaos, right? You don't want a defense to get comfortable. I use the term, most defenses, they hit. They're the hitter, right? So they have to see the pitch, they have to react, right? And they have to hit the ball. And if you're an elite hitter, you bat 300. Okay. I want to play defense where we're pitching. I want to be the pitcher. I want to throw the pitch and make offenses react, right? And I think that's what Coach Ward does. Is he's aggressive, he attacks, he creates chaos, but he does all that because he's the pitcher. He doesn't let an offense dictate to him what's happening. He's the one who does the dictating, right? And then offensively, Coach Baldwin, he's obviously won a national championship as a head coach. His team last year, he coached at the FCS level. converted from a triple option, which means runs the ball 95% of the snaps, to a passing offense. And in 2 years, he turned a team that only really runs the ball into the 5th best passing offense in all the FCS. So he's a guy that comes with extreme knowledge of changing a culture and changing an offensive system, right? And obviously, we're going to run what I believe in offensively, but I'm truly blessed that we have him. We're going to be a pro-style offense that plays fast. We're going to throw the football down the field, and we're going to attack. Once again, you're going to see on offense, defense, and special teams that we're going to constantly attack, right? We don't want teams to get comfortable, right? We want teams to think they don't know when we're faking a punt, when we're faking a kick, when we're throwing the ball deep, when we're going for 4th down, when we're bringing house zero pressure. We want a team to prepare for us and say, dang, we better come to play because this team's going to be aggressive, right? When it comes to the message that I firmly believe is why I believe this is one of the best jobs in America, is one, it's home for me, and I know about it. I know what this place has to offer, and it's the Valley. And I use the term activate the Valley a lot. Activate the Valley, activate the Valley. And what that means is get involved, right? You guys right now as season ticket holders, or maybe you're on the verge of being a season ticket holder, right? Being a season ticket holder is involved. You've got a butt in the seat. You're given to the program. There is so much value in that, like we already talked about. Now, let's say you're a season ticket holder that can do more. Well, maybe you give to the NIL collective. Maybe you come out and support our football program or support a charity that we're involved in. It's just being involved. Maybe it's retweeting things on Twitter. Maybe it's watching the games at home, right? And getting that better TV audience. Maybe it's just coming to tailgate and creating a tailgate environment. What I mean by be involved is if you have the financial resources to be involved, then get more involved. If you don't, then be more involved socially. Wear ASU gear out, right? Put a flag out in your front yard. Show up to the games an hour early and chant whatever we want to chant pregame to create a college environment. When I say activate the Valley, I truly mean whether it's $1, whether it's $100, whether it's $5,000, whether it's showing up early, whether it's wearing a hat, whether it's buying a season ticket, whether it's buying 2 more season tickets and finding 2 more friends to bring with you, right, to the games. Whatever that is, right, it truly just means be invested in the program at whatever level you can be invested in, right? Because I truly think if we if everybody in this chat, flies a flag out in their yard of ASU football, right, and wears ASU gear around the Valley, and Christmas is coming up, buy people ASU gear, make them wear it around the Valley, buy them flags to put in their front yard, put those in the front yard. If we can create that culture in the Valley, that on Saturday, what are we doing? We're watching, we're going to, we're tailgating, we're getting involved in Sun Devil football. That is what Activate the Valley means. And that's where I think this place can be special. That's really all I got from an intro standpoint. I know we're going to go through some questions, but those are really just the staples of what I believe in here and a little bit about our staff.
Thanks for that message, Coach. For those of you just joining us, to get the best view of Coach, please select the hide non-video participants option in the upper right corner where it says view. You can also adjust it through your video settings. So we have some time for a few questions, for some pre-submitted questions from season ticket holders. The first one is from Barry Hayes, a 40-year season ticket holder from Phoenix. Coach, what are your top priorities in your first 60 days, and what can we expect your roster to look like on March 1st, 2023?
Well, one, I appreciate you being that loyal to the program. That's impressive. 2, we're a long way to go. We're building this roster. We've got some pieces in place. The first 60-day plan was first get to know the players, get around the players, meet the players one-on-one, then build a staff. We've accomplished the on-the-field part. The next step is the off-the-field part. 3 is evaluate players that have interest in the program, whether it's junior college, transfers, or high school kids. Evaluate those players. 4 would be get the entire organization together to teach them what this culture, explain what I want this culture to look like, because culture is something that you have to live, right? Culture is not something that can be a sometimes thing. Culture is an all the time thing. So getting our entire group of people together to explain what the culture of this program is going to look like, and that these kids, when these kids return on January 9th, what the standard is going to be for success here. And then obviously after we put together that plan, finish off recruiting in February, and there'd be the 60 days. But in terms of where the roster will be, we're just working every day to continue to build that. Right now we're about 30 something we're about 38 scholarships short of where most teams are in the country. So we've got some work to do to fill out some scholarships, to say the least. That's why we've got roughly 20 to 25 kids that are going to visit this week into the program. Is because we've got, a significant, for lack of a better term, amount of spots that we got to fill.
Next one is from Paul Regains, a 19-year season ticket holder from Ahwatukee. So it's hard to correct the problem that you first don't properly identify. In your analysis, what is the primary reason or reasons that ASU has not been able to reach its potential that many believe that it is? And what steps do you have in place to correct that issue or issues?
Well, I think the number one thing is ASU has been here before. We've won back-to-back 10 games. We've been ranked top 5. We've sniffed the level of success. I think part of that is consistency. I think the consistency from the fan base, right, and showing up to games on a consistent basis, right, being involved on a consistent basis is one. The consistency of a coaching staff being all in on this place and saying, you know what, it doesn't matter what comes up, what opportunity comes up, we want to be here, we want to build it here. So I think for me, it's just consistency and continuity. I think if we build some consistency here of what we're trying to get in terms of the culture, if we get some consistency in the support from the Valley, and if we bring a recruit on campus in week 3, and the last week's game may have been rough, are we worried about what the turnout's going to be to the game because this kid just left the school we're competing versus Ole Miss for this prospect, and he just had a sellout crowd, and now we're worried about bringing them because maybe we don't, right? So I think there's a balance for us of we as a staff have to be consistent, we have to be bought in, we have to be all in, right? And we have to create a culture here and want to be here, which is the staff that I built is one that wants to be here. And we have to recruit the Valley to create that standard, kids that have passion about this place. And then when opportunities arise, we have to be willing to stay, which our staff is born and raised here, a lot of them, and they're all in. And then in return, we got to get a community and a Valley that backs us, that when a kid leaves the airport and drives over here, he sees cars with ASU flags coming out of them, right? He sees, he pulls into the game and he sees people tailgating. He goes to the game and he sees 10,000 people there an hour and a half early, right? He goes to the game on kickoff, and it's one of the loudest environments he's had because it's sold out. In order to create a winner in college football, it's not just the staff, it's not just the game day atmosphere, it's everything that goes in to the prospect and the student athlete. And it starts with the fan base, it starts with the coaches, it starts with the people. So I think the people just have to be all in here at the higher level than they've ever been.
And this one's from Ryan Relkin, a second-year season ticket holder from Gilbert. What is your style of communication with your players, and what will you do to develop a sense of trust and family with your players?
I think honesty and being direct. And, we're going to get together at houses of our coaches and do all the stuff you normally do. But I think the key to having a relationship is honesty. And even when they don't want to hear something, you tell them it, the good and the bad. So I think that's how relationships are built, is through trust. And that's something that our players are going to be able to have. They're going to be able to trust that when I tell them something, it happens.
And a couple more questions for you, Coach. We know you're busy doing recruiting. Speaking of, what are you going to do to enhance? This one's from Chuck Ciarello, a 40-year season ticket holder from Maricopa. What are you going to do to enhance in-state recruiting, and what plans do you have for the transfer portal?
Yeah, I mean, one in-state recruiting, we've hired three coaches who have won state championships in the state on staff. So I think that would be one, and the time commitment that we're going to give to it. Thoughts on the transfer portal? I think it's great. I think the ability for a kid who was lied to or manipulated in recruiting to not be tied and be able to kind of start over, I think is great for a kid. And we're going to attack the transfer portal with specifically young players in the transfer portal that are looking for a fresh start that we can help put together a roster with.
From David Bergson, a new season ticket holder from Anaheim Hills. Coach, right out of the gate, you put a focus on the Valley. What are your plans to get out and touch the alumni and support base in Southern California, which is the second largest alumni base for ASU?
Yeah, so where we actually just talked about this today, ironically, when our coaches have some recruiting areas, we're going to try to do some events out in those directions through recruiting times of the year when we have coaches out that way, that may be in Southern California recruiting. Maybe we can, set up an event or do something where we invite season ticket holders, invite people out to meet with that coach and maybe have a dinner or have something like that. So we're working all avenues to try to engage everybody involved in the program.
From Nathan Cooley, who's a 25-year season ticket holder residing in Queen Creek, on a scale of 0 to 10, how does the current NIL model and structure impact you and your staff's ability to recruit blue chip players to ASU? And then can you talk about all the current NIL system benefits, how the current NIL system benefits ASU, but also how it poses challenges?
10. When you mention blue chip players, it's a 10. 10. Now, how does it positives and negatives? I think the positives are we have the value and we have the resources that if everybody gets involved, I don't know how many people we have on this call, but we have the power of numbers. We have one of the largest alumni bases in the country. If every single person gets involved at a $50 level monthly, a $20 level monthly, if every single person says, you know what, I'm not going to go to Starbucks on Tuesday and Thursday, I'm going to give that $10 a week, right, to the program, that's $40 a month. Imagine that across the masses. Everybody gives up 2 Starbucks coffees on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And this place can be one of the most powerful programs in the country because of the masses. And that's not even including the big time people and the big time donors and sponsors that can get involved. That's the people who just go grab Starbucks Monday through Friday, skip Tuesday and Thursday, give $10 to the NIL program, $40 a month. And if we get 2,000 people doing that, we could be one of the most competitive people in the country in getting those blue chip players.
And that is all the time we have today. Coach and his staff are in the midst of a big week of recruiting, and we wish them the best of luck. Another reminder that season ticket representatives are available to answer any questions and help you renew your tickets for next year. I'll put the information again in the chat. Once again, thank you for joining us, Coach, and thank you guys for your support of Sun Devil Athletics. Have a great rest of your evening.
Perfect. Thank y'all.